Thank you for joining us this wonderful day. It's a blessed day. Yes. We have Jean Salvi in the house. One and only. Today we are hosting Rwanda Tech Ecosystem. We're joined by two developers who are doing amazing stuff. And we want to talk about tech ecosystem in Rwanda. And it's yours truly, Michael Kimathi from Impact Masters Podcasts. This podcast is brought to you by Africa's Talking Podcasts. And we're telling African stories, recording their history, and ensuring that, we are covering the base in terms of what is happening in Africa when it comes to tech ecosystem. And I'm your host, Michael Kimathi. Call me MK anytime. And we are, we're telling developer stories. We are also covering what is happening in Africa. And today we're in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda. And we're joined by two amazing gurus, software engineers working for different companies here. We have Salvi from Bento Africa and Jim Ntare from Consumer Tech. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're good?
Yeah. Good. I'm doing good.
How are you, Salvi?
I'm good.
We can't hear you. How are you, Salvi?
I'm doing good.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Welcome at our Africa's Talking Podcast and Impact Masters Podcasts. Today we are going to cover what is happening in Rwanda. And just to give you context, guys, I met Salvi back in 2018 as a student at which university was it?
It was AUCA African.
Sorry?
It's AUCA Rwanda.
AUCA Rwanda.
Yeah, sure.
So I normally do developer outreach. It's part of my purpose in life, where I reach out to different developers through the communities that we run. That is then was Nairobi community, which is now Africa Ruby community. And we try to share Ruby and Ruby on Rails, things to do with open source, agile, with the developers. And Salvi was part of that cohort. Which year were you then?
At university?
Yeah.
I think I was in second year.
Yeah. Right now he's straight up back-end engineers 4 years down the line. And to be honest, it's a guy like Salvi who kept me doing what I do. I've been doing this for the last 12 years. I know, people like Microsoft, people like Andela, people like MasterCard, people like Amazon, people like AWS have come to Africa, and they don't realize how much the tech leaders do. And it's amazing to know that Jean or Salvi took over me and now is a GDG leader, which is amazing again because he saw the potential of what it means to share your skills, to share your knowledge, and is organizing communities around Kigali and I think Rwanda in general. It's fascinating to know that this guy who actually by then didn't know what to do with what he is learning, he was also struggling to figure out which language should I go with, what do I do, how do I solve a problem? Because that day I think we talked about Ruby framework, open source, and agile. And maybe we'll be sharing how that helped you. But before that, guys, when we have a podcast here, we try to tell our story. And you can't tell a story of a man without knowing who they are. Yeah. So who are you guys?
Well,
I don't mean your names and your... So where were you born? How was that? The experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I will start. Salvi. As most of you know, I'm a software engineer at Bento.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised in Rwanda.
Yeah.
In northern part of Rwanda.
Yeah.
And
northern is close to Uganda, right?
Yep. That's close to Uganda, yeah.
Yeah.
So I normally started this software engineering, web development, and coding while I was at high school.
Yeah. I
didn't know much, think you can do properly, you can write program to print styles and you feel like a hero,
Yeah.
Most of people don't get the logic into those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you're in secondary school and you can still figure it out. So they call you genius. That's how I started. That's how I got
in class 1, huh?
Yeah.
In P1.
No. It's P4 I get.
At P4 you are writing code.
S4. It's secondary 4, like where you start, like picking.
That is O level 4, right?
Yeah, O level 4. So, and yeah, from there,
Which language were you using then?
It's a C++.
C++. You could write and compile and trans. Next level kind of stuff. Yes, of course, you are genius. No doubt.
Yeah, it was crazy. But back then, you can do math, economics, and computer science. That's what I did in secondary school.
Which, we are jumping all over. Let's start chronologically. You were born in northern part of Rwanda. You went to school where?
Oh, I was born and raised in northern part of Rwanda. So I went
which part specifically?
Northern part, like close to Uganda, Rudindo district.
Or Rudindo district.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it was a tough drive back then. Like there is not much of computer thing there.
Yeah.
I remember myself, like I have like this one posts I posted on Facebook. I remember.
Yeah. So there was, how old are you? Because now if you're posting on Facebook, it must be 2004 and...
No. I joined Facebook in 2011, I think.
11?
Yeah.
Okay.
And back then I posted, like 2012, I posted like, imagine programming a program to program a program.
Yes.
That was AI.
Yes.
But I didn't know what a program is, but I saw like a funny image and I was like, this is fancy, like I just reposted. And if I reflect, right now I'm in AI field.
Yeah.
I do AI stuff and I'm like, maybe this was like Arian talking to me and something like that.
So you used to converse with aliens.
Yeah.
And what did they say to you? You must be a programmer.
Yeah, I guess so. But
which language do they speak? Now that we're talking about aliens.
Like whenever you have a thought, that means you're talking to alien.
Not God, huh?
Whatever you can call it, it's maybe alien or superpower. But something you don't really understand how to talk, how to operate.
But there was that conversation like, Chief, check this out. This is gonna be the next big thing.
It's been
Be curious enough, learn this stuff. I'm imagining, Salvi. That kind of approach. I'm just kidding. So you start now getting interest into AI, like how stuff work. Did you start now writing NLPs, NLPs and, machine learning algorithms? How was that?
Like back then I didn't have like a computer at home.
Okay.
I didn't have it like anything at all digital.
Yeah.
It was just me. Back then I like drawing stuff. So all of my notebook, including some drawing instead of like, class notes. That was crazy. But, like after joining the computer science course in S4, and I guess that's where I started like getting into tech, interested in programming.
Yeah.
That was interesting. That's where like, you there is something like you can do something and you feel like, this is very much rewarding. Like the way this dopamine hits work, like you write a program, it learn.
Yeah.
You can celebrate the whole day.
Yeah. How do you celebrate?
Just get excited, like feel like an alien.
Yes. You love aliens. Yeah. So that was in you said in high school, right?
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah. And which high school was this?
That was Saint Maria Adelaide.
Was it still in the northern part?
No, it's southern part near to Kigali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's cool.
You know the school?
It's good.
Yeah. Did you also go to school there?
No.
But yes, tell us about yourself, and then we'll go back.
I was raised in Kigali.
So you are, tomboy. Yeah.
Well, I was raised here all my life, and I actually started software engineering in 2016.
2016.
That's when I used to double with it in high school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on the cusp because we didn't necessarily have a laptop.
Yeah.
We had like computer labs
Yeah.
in school. But like by then, there weren't as many resources to learn or self-teach yourself.
Yeah.
But in high school I also did computer science
Yes.
as a field. So I had an understanding, and when you're at home, there's that one laptop in the house. You just get like one chance to look at it. But I didn't necessarily do anything with any programming, anything related to programming or software engineering then.
Yeah.
I officially started learning and self-teaching myself because I went to business school.
Yeah.
I started self-teaching myself in 2016, like my first year in uni.
Yes.
And then it went on from there. Even after I finished uni, I just continued in that career. So I have a business degree, but so
your background is not in software engineering or computer science.
Academic background, no.
Interesting.
Especially in my bachelor's degree or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, very interesting stuff. So you guys have just run through everything within seconds.
No, not really.
And I understand why you are doing that. Because we are configured to undervalue our processes and history, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to know, which school did you go?
All right.
How was that experience?
Yeah.
Did you have, good moments, bad moments? What can you remember even in your primary school, right?
Yeah.
High school, did you even, good with girls? Did you write letters? What did you learn? Which subject did you take? Be chronological as possible.
All right.
Yes,
all right.
please.
So I went to my primary school. It's a really known school here. It's called Kigali Parents.
Is it a private school?
It's a private school. I went to all private schools.
All private school.
Yes.
Okay.
All private schools. So Kigali Parents, very strict school.
Okay. Is it missionary or something?
No, it's just very strict.
When you say very strict, do you get stroked? What makes you...
Strokes on strokes. And we used to get like 3 homeworks a night.
Every day?
Every single day. And they didn't even write, they didn't, like the math, especially for the math.
Yeah.
They didn't even like, have you write, they didn't write it on the chalkboard so that you copy down the questions. They used to give you papers. They give you like a 70 question math paper. They print it.
That's for a primary school kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to take it home and present it the next day.
Yeah. Every single day.
Yeah. So the math homework was like probably like 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
But, come without doing all those questions.
Yeah.
And I used to come without doing all of them most often than not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very can I say it sharpened you in a way that it was militant of sorts. It felt like,
was it a military school?
Not necessarily, but like the way we the kind of
the discipline and
the discipline was top level. It produced.
But then you are thinking it's punishment.
Yeah, for us that's the whole point.
For us, who is us? You and your classmates?
Me and my colleagues. We're like, oh my God, we can't wait.
Yeah. At one point, did you think of quitting?
No, it wasn't an option then. You had to go to school. It was just part of life. You get used to it.
Okay.
And
it's a private school. Where are you going anyway? So
no, I mean it's one of the best schools. It was very hard to first of all, it was very competitive in itself.
Does it still exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still there. Still quite there. So yeah. So in high school I went to another private school. It's called Riviera.
Oh, you scored really good and
you
went to another private school.
Yeah.
So do you get invited or how does it go? Your parents?
My parents could afford.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went to Riviera High School, but then it was quite also top school.
Yeah.
And it was a new lease of life. Weren't anything like Canes or anything.
Yeah.
We had a swimming pool. Life was good.
Oh my goodness.
Life was good.
Kids.
I'm so envious. Cool kids, eh?
Yeah.
But you said your name is full name? Jim
Ntare.
Jim Ntare. Yeah, I think you didn't say it when you started, but
Yeah.
Jim, you had a privileged life.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say yeah.
And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
You know, your parents struggled to
True.
kind of give you an okay life. So
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
The guy is so modest.
He's not
an okay life.
Hey, listen, there are levels because there are people.
There are people
who are above you and whatever. So it's an ongoing.
Human
because
being will never be.
I probably was like the poorest kid
in that school.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
So that's
Now you can imagine if Salvi was in that school. You'd be like,
But
guys,
you know what?
sponsor me.
We used to have like students who were sponsored.
Oh, okay.
Or
They had scholarship,
they had scholarship. Like
but they
the
were smart.
school. Yes, the school used to give like
A few scholarships.
Yes,
I think
a few
that's
scholarships.
noble, given that maybe people are paying top dollar for guys to come there. Maybe set
We're
aside.
probably like
Okay.
by then it was probably like maybe top 5 schools that pay
Top dollar.
in the country then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many people were sponsored per class?
maybe like 2.
Out of how many?
In a class we used to be like 25.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So that's one stream.
That's
Or
one stream.
total streams is 25.
No.
How many streams did
we
you
had
have?
like two streams.
So there are like 50 students.
yes, 50 students.
4 of them.
Plus 25, maybe 4 of them or
4 out of 50 are
Yeah.
it's fair enough.
yeah.
And the guys who got scholarship, did they progress? Did they catch up? Or they were
Obviously,
first,
they were really good. Obviously, some people come in with a mission, kind of
okay.
like they come on a mission of sorts, and then
what kind of mission?
you come in and you're not on the same wavelength in a sense. There's a certain level of seriousness that you have more than the other. And obviously you take some of these things a bit too serious, and then you're obviously doing well in class and all that stuff. But I think a lot of people, even I think there are a lot of well-off kids who are really smart because they've had good education ever since they were young kids.
Through private school or
Through
just
private school.
public school?
No, private school.
Okay.
Yeah, public school here is still quite good.
I hear His Excellency Paul Kagame was like, he made public school so good that even there was no good business for private school.
Oh, I would say that, but still, sometimes when you like a parent, sometimes private school is more of like the amenities, right? But
And
in terms of
attention
like
to
the
detail.
standards, you'll find that well-equipped labs are public schools.
Yes.
Well-equipped labs, some of these facilities,
Yeah.
you're more likely to get them in public schools, but they are obviously top private schools.
Yeah.
So
The
they're
best ones.
like the good private schools.
Yeah.
That obviously offer a certain level of education that a normal public school wouldn't, and access to some of the different things, like access to scholarships, access to like people who come in and just talk about different things. It's different curriculums, sometimes Cambridge and some foreign other curriculums, but
International schools.
Yes.
So I mean, that's a very good context, given that and I think this is impressive that the government itself is taking initiative to make sure that they have the best amenities, so that people don't just go to private school because of the amenities. Impressive. So Salvi, when you hear that, what do you think? You're like, I want to be you, chief, one day.
I would say when I grow up, but I'm already
grown up. Yeah. So for you, it was more of like public school all the way.
Yeah, it was a public school, but for universities, private. I remember, there is a gap here in between, like university and high school.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't take that.
How is that long gap?
It's like
It was a year.
Oh, you stay.
It was like a year, whole year.
Oh, there was a time. Now it's no longer.
It's no longer.
It's a few months and then you go to
university.
university.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think even in Kenya it's the same way. When I graduated, I had to stay for 2 years at home, waiting to be there. If you pass the exam, you are invited. Like, hey, yo, get a letter and all that. Because you apply, like when you do your KCSE, you say, I want to join if I get, because you know your performance, you say, I want to do law, or maybe I want to do computer science, I want to do software engineering, I want to do maybe agri-tech. I don't know, whatever it is, you just fill out option 1, option 2, option 3. Now, once the result come out, they used to come out, I think in December, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, because right now it has changed. It's a bit quite some time. Then you wait for 2 years and you report in September. So remember, we finish around in November, say 2000. I finished in 2007, then you wait for 2 years. So those 2 years now, it's your choice. So for me, I did driving. What else? I worked a bit. I taught other kids how to do stuff. I taught English in some technical school. I did a lot of community work. So you guys, 1 year, what did you do?
Like for me, I didn't take that 1 year gap. I just joined private university right away.
Just directly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was excited about software engineering. Like I was so interested in coding, but in the university, like I did whole year without coding anything.
You are learning theory.
Not even.
Was
like
it computer science?
Theory. Yeah, it's software engineering.
Software engineering, okay.
But specifically, you spend the whole year studying like crazy courses like Bible, English. I was like, man.
You joined the theology university. What are you talking about? Which university was this again?
Yeah, it's for Adventist stuff too.
Oh, so they put in some religious teachings. And it's good, by the way, for your coding. Good. Coding is hard. You need some, I don't want to say religious connection, but you need some spiritual and nourishment to be able to operate in that. Honestly, this is not a joke. I'm not pulling your leg. So, and you have coded, right?
Yeah.
There's some time that things don't work.
Yeah.
It's like artistic work. You write a song and then there are no more lines to write. Okay, this is a weird example. I don't know if any one of you has been an artist. Neither have I been an artist, but I used to write a lot of lyrics when I was in school. And this is funny because it was not targeted to be produced. But I was trying to get lines for ladies.
Oh.
You know how you go and you have a pickup line. And so I could listen to, artists and then figure out, so when you say this and then there's rhyme. And then you learn this in literature so you can connect both. Wow. So this is what we are learning in literature. That's what we're learning grammar. That's what we're learning English.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. So there is a time that I'll sit there and give my own story, but never mind. So what I was trying to put across that artistic work or scientific stuff, sometimes you hit the wall. Mm-hmm. Not because you're not knowledgeable, but because sometimes you get mind block, where you can't think further than that. And I hear you can confirm this. Most of the engineers and developers are more mind alert during at night for obvious reasons. It's more quiet, it's more peaceful, and there are less distractions. Is that true, by the way?
Yeah, it's
say that's
true.
Or you guys have been coding really nice at night and you think, we are engineers. These things work at night.
For me, I could do anytime.
Anytime.
But you prefer at night, especially when you have like a pressing task, or you want to like really power through something. Like something has been frustrated. There was a times like something would frustrate me. I think there was a time when I was still like in Andela. Something would frustrate me, and then I would like.
Oh, so you're in Andela. I wanted to know.
Spend the whole.
I wanted to know, how did you transition from business degree to? So it's Andela magic, eh?
Okay. Some of it.
Anyway, we'll get there. So Salvi, so you joined this Adventist university, right?
Yeah.
You're doing religion, and then you're like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, I spent a whole year trying to figure it out. Is this programming? Is this I was frustrated, but right away they started some courses which are engineering related, so wasn't that bad, but I guess it was frustrating. 1 year, like everyone have to pass that year, and I feel like if they, like sometimes remove those kind of crazy courses, that would hurt people. Just like to point out that because it was so frustrating to
You're telling
And you have to pass them.
someone who's listening.
yeah, you have to pass them. If you don't, you're not passing.
Whoever in
That's all.
Awuka is listening.
Who is that?
He's trying to tell some people in Awuka to kind of slow down on those courses.
The religious ones.
The religious,
Or the spiritual ones.
the Bible courses. Or,
Yeah. I mean, curriculum is meant to be reviewed once in a while, and I think this is a good feedback. And I mean, if you look at it, depends with what you want to learn, but I think also, and I can't say this enough, so people should be spiritually nourished, especially when they have a task to build solutions, because remember the solution you're building, they impact a lot of people. And you have seen people like Google saying, don't be evil. They don't just say that for the sake of being cool. When you're not spiritually nourished, it's really hard for you to build something that actually could be used in good way.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, people even write software for nuclear plants, power plants.
Yep.
Imagine if someone added a bug there. They can wipe out a whole continent or whatever those nuclears can do. So these things might maybe not make sense because maybe you're not building maybe software at that scale. But with time, you start now. And I'm not saying even this from school point of view. As a person, you should be able to be spiritually nourished. And that's my own opinion, all right? You can take it or leave it.
Yeah, sure.
So, second year, that's when you started coding?
Yeah, that's when I started like some courses on coding. But back then I was already in community.
Which community had you joined? That's when we met actually, right?
Yeah, we met, and there was other communities like what does it called? Forup Africa.
Follow.
Yeah,
Follow actually was started by a consortium with Africa's Talking, and that chief who is greeting us. You can't see him on the camera, but Graham is here. Shout out to Graham. They're the ones who are doing follow. So that's when now you started even seeing people who are already in the space, right?
Yeah, back then was Remy Muhide, he's Rwandan guy.
Yeah.
And that lady from Uganda, I think Lorna Mariak, and Solomon.
Solomon
Kitumba
Itumba.
from Uganda.
Yeah, that was like when
They
I
used to
started.
come all the way
They
to
used to
Kigali.
come, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, for Forup, yeah.
Nice. And where did Follow go? Because I just joined AT when Follow was, I don't know, does it still exist?
I think it does.
Yeah,
I
but
used to
not
get
as
some-
vibrant as it was.
Yeah, sure.
And I think this is something we need to figure out because I'm so passionate about communities, because I've seen the impact communities can bring. And I've been saying this more than enough time. People like Google should take care of communities, because communities is all about providing resources. They are volunteers, and they will do the magic for you. They will build a pipeline for you, right? And actually, it doesn't have to be because I sponsored this event, and that's our approach as Africa's Talking, and also because I just joined Africa's Talking last year. Building communities for over 12 years has shown me one thing. When I build a pipeline, right now you don't work for me, right? You work for another company. But if I didn't maybe share what I shared, I don't know. Maybe Follow-up would have shared, but either way, the company that has hired you, I don't know, you can tell us if this is true. If you just had your degree, do you think you'd be a back-end engineer at that company? Most probably.